Alright guys, Baz here, WELDERFABBER. Welcome back. Today we're going to be trying to extract these snap bolts on this hub of a final drive of an Hitachi ZX350. Now then, looking at this, looks like these bolts have run loose and it's worn the hub down. Come round this side with the camera, you'll see how it's worn down there. And that flange will be a little bit worn, but every single bolt is snapped in. So if you remember in the last chapter of the Chronicles, we talked about this, and one of the lads came out to it, yeah. Anyway, today is a Sunday. It's not a live site, so I ain't wearing an hard hat before people start mentioning it. But the best way to extract these now without taking the drive off is to try and weld something on the back of the bolt. See, as it's worn the hub away. So really, rather than, if we do get the bolts out today now, rather than welding all this up, really is what it needs, and then machining back down, we're just going to put some weld on and slide the sprocket over to tighten it up, so it's like a little spigot, like on a hub of a truck, if you will, where it sits over. But really, we need to try and get these bolts out, and the best way is, rather than drilling them, because they're 12.9 bolts, yeah, they'll be hard to get out them with a drill. You need a special cobalt drill. If you weld it, so I've got a smaller size washer here now, so that's an M22 bolt. If you get that washer there, and weld that washer, you see, I will go on to the end of the bolt, and then once that's welded on there, I can get a nut and easily weld that nut to that washer. And then that stops any weld getting on from the bolt to the hub. So we're not going to weld it all to, you know what I mean, it won't get old. But the only thing I'm worried about on this now, before we start, is as them bolts have come loose, that bolt could have picked up on the threads, and trying to pull it back could damage the threads. Now then, I have got an M22mm tap on the van to re-tap everything, but it's how badly damaged it could actually be. I mean, really, it needs a new hub. But we ain't going to put a new hub on a machine that's done 7,000 hours if we can sort it this way. So we've got the MIG. We've got the MIG with us now, and we've got Callum. Now Callum is getting to be my right hand man, and he will be in more videos and episodes and chapters. We'll go a little bit more into him as time goes on, like I will do with all the lads. But Cal, if you want to connect that MIG up now, we'll get the compressor going, we'll get all this cleaned off. We'll buff the end of the bolts up and give it a go on the first one. We might have to apply a little bit of heat into the flange and the end of the bolt, get the end of the bolt hot so it winds out, but again, we're at risk of damaging the thread. So it is a bit of a tricky one, this. Not an easy one. So I think we could do a little episode on this, just on its own. But the main thing is, this machine has to be running tomorrow. This is why we're here on a Sunday. We're running out of stone. We need the breaker that we dropped off the other day. We need that breaker on this machine running tomorrow. This is a 350, it is a wide machine. We can't get another machine up here tomorrow because we need a movement order. So no matter what, even if I've got to weld the sprocket to the drive, this machine will be running tomorrow. Let's get going. from. So I'm just cleaning the end of the studs up now, just so we can get a good fix with the welder. Normally we'd try winding them out from the other side. Yeah, if there was a little bit of thread sticking out, it would make it a lot easier, and we could just like basically just sit a bolt on it like that, a nut on it, and weld it to it. Because it's a little bit under, you see how it's under about 4mm, 5mm, we're going to try and take it that way. But things could change. Let's just see how it goes. So these are M22mm bolts that have snapped. This is an M24mm nut, so that means it's a 16mm thread, and that's an M22 thread with a 32mm head. So come round this side now, we'll try getting that in the centre. Yeah, and I'll get a tack on it. Try, director. Now then, just let that cool a little bit before we try a spanner on it. This is the big test. This is the first one. This is going to tell me if it's going to be a long day or a short day. Yeah, boy. Cal, get a tap out, get a tap connected up to the gun. That's what I wanted to see. Now then, what we need to look at, the threads on the drive. Once this comes out. That makes me smile. Because now I know I can repair that thread with a tap. If you look inside there, see how it looks a little bit damaged. We'll sort that out though. We'll make that go again, no problem. Got a 22mm tap, Cal. As put it on top. Spray it in thread. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what I wanted to see. Right, bang, 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 everyone. Time for a bit of warp. We're just cracking them with a big bar, which are a little bit tight because they will have picked up a little bit, and then we'll get rest with a ratchet. Need a bit more. Tight that can. Probably better with a ratchet.
Yeah, they're a bit, yeah.
So what we're finding is that they're really tight coming out, and the reason they'll be really tight is because as the bolt snapped, it'll kind of pull the bolt over the threads over a little bit into the actual thread, so it'll be tight. It'll be really tight. Chuck us one of them, Cal. Let me have a look, see if I can. If you look at this, so as it snapped, that would have like curled over a little bit, if you will. Right, so when it's coming out, it's really tight. So what we're going to do, we're going to apply a little bit of heat to the snap bolt in this hole here now, and basically make it soft so it comes out easier. Yeah, we're at risk of damaging the thread, but they're super tight. And a couple of nuts snapped off them so far, so let's just give it a little bit of heat. So we're getting a couple snap, yeah? So best thing to do, apply a little bit of heat to the flange. This is super tight, this before. There we go, it's come loose now. vehicle. But it has been damaged, look. That's why there'll be tire coming out this way as well, Cal, can you see? Yeah. See how it's worn it away, the little block? So we'll be picking up on that as well as it's coming out. Right, we'll try that other one again. So we're having a problem with this one here. That will have probably stretched the threads on the inside as it's come loose, that sprocket, as it snapped the bolt, it's probably stretched the threads. So we've just done 4 nuts in there now, so I'm just gonna let it cool a bit, that, because we're putting too much heat into the flange. No matter what we're doing now, with putting heat into that flange, it will misshape it. You won't see it with the eye, but it will misshape it slightly, which could give us problems down the line. That really needs machining back down, machining down dead flat again. But what we'll do, once we do get it up and running, we'll just have to do more checks on this sprocket, and I want to check the other side before we go as well. Fire it up, Cal, and turn it. I just love it when a plan comes together. Right, so we're 2 hours in here now. We've got 12 out so far. I've got 3 that's giving me jip that keep breaking off. I did mention before about welding a washer on first, but we don't really need to because the bolt is actually sticking proud a little bit. So all we do is put a smaller nut on. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, even if we do it, even if we can't get a couple out, I'm not too bothered as long as the machine's running tomorrow.
Crank it back up again, eh?
Yeah, hang on, stick it. now, boys. We're getting there now. That one's giving us jip. That one. We'll give it another do. That's one of the bad ones we just got there now. Right, how many more have we got? Should only be a few more now, surely.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
3 more bodies.
Spin it round then.
Come for that.
You can pretty much see how much the sprocket's been moving. We're getting there. So these two are giving us an headache. See that there? That's probably picked up on the thread a little bit. And that's why it's not coming. But if we heat that up and get that hot, like red hot, that bolt, it should wind out. That side again like we walked out, you know what I mean? This is on the right one, that. Yeah, that's what I mean, get it hot at the end of the bolt. One left. Yeah, 2. Right, let's get it. See? Little beauty, yeah. Never fail. Never fail. Right, get a 4.5 inch buffer out. Up 110 grinder, yeah. Get all this cleaned up, get some weld on this hub. Last one. I could kiss you, but you're a little bit hot. Right, what we'll do now, we'll just clean the flange up. We'll clean the hub up. We'll tap every hole, and we'll put a little bit of weld on here so the sprocket sits on tight. We're getting there, we're getting there. Not long now. Called that, he ain't telling you. Clean that up now, just keep that drive turning as he cleans it up. Go and have a look. Right, so I've just picked the machine up a little bit so it's more of a height, for just a better height for me, should I say, because I've got a bad back at the moment. But now we're just using a 22mm tap, some metal lube, yeah, every hole, and we'll re-tap every hole with a gun. No! Stay that way. Other way. Go on, go on. Go on. Them bolts have definitely damaged some of the threads.
Careful, not so quiet.
Little bugger. Try and keep that tap as straight as you can. Should pick up on the original threads. We're doing alright, we're doing alright. Yeah, the rain's coming, the rain's coming. So I'm using this mainly for speed, yeah. I should really have a tap wrench on it, but now and again you speed things up a bit like this. Ooh. Throwing that down there, that. Right, so now they're all out and they're all re-tapped. We've cleaned it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run some weld in between each bolt. There, all the way around. Just to build that hub up a little bit, so when the sprocket goes on, it's tight, because as it goes on at the minute, it'll have some movement and it'll come loose again within no time. I mean, really, this should be fully built up, that should be replaced, but be a fortune for one of them. We ain't messing about anyway with 7,000 hours. So this is a bit of an exercise to see how long it lasts. We'll keep an eye on it. So this is the machine that we put the breaker on in chapter 3. And a few people picked up on that the machine was squeaking, yeah, and it was squeaking, and we greased it before we left the job. Something I didn't put on camera, but I see how people always pick up on little things, you know what I mean? A few more on the car. That will be a little bit tight now on the sprocket. The sprocket will be tight, we'll have to take them down a little bit more. I'd say it'd be right, this fixture though. I'd say it'd be right. I don't think we'll have any problems with it, but we'll keep an eye on it anyway for a couple of months. So now we've built that hub that we weld, as you can see, in between each bolt hole. I'm just going to run a tap back through them again, just in case a little bit of spatter got on the threads. If a little bit of spatter has got on the threads, then it will pick up when we're putting the bolts in and make it a bit of a nightmare. Blow the threads off now. Right, so now we've got all them re-tapped. They will need to come down a little bit, they're a little bit high at the moment then. But we're going to take the paint off the new sprocket. Just puff the paint off one side of the new sprocket. And then we'll sit it on and see how tight it is. But I want it so we have to knock it on with sledge. Go on, lads. Bit of weight in them, isn't there? Oh, get it on it. Kid needs to get to the gym, doesn't he? Go on, son. You got neutral locked tight? Yeah, we'll get all bolts out on here anyway. So that is a tight fit, which is good. It's not, it's pretty much bang on. But if you can see why I've done that, to take the slack out of it. So we'll just fire a load of new bolts in it now, Loctite them up. She'll be right. It's running, that's the main thing anyway. Be running. So 270. Fire it into them all. Bolt. So once you've got a couple of bolts in it, make sure it's pulled up tight at the back, which it is. Just give it a belt with its ledge. See how it's gone up a bit more then? We'll get a big bar on them anyway. Roll in now, Cal. So now we've gunned them up, Loctited. We're going to go around them with bar now. Just put a little mark where you start and work your way around and just double check them all with bar. Right, Carl, rat welder up, we're done there. Now that's all buttoned up, dogged up with bar. We'll have to pull the track over. We'll pull the track over to the idler end, yeah? So we'll put a bar through the link. We'll take the bucket off and I'll pull it over with a chain. We'll see in a minute. Not doing too bad though. Alright, so now we're going to pull the track over and reconnect. So we just connect a chain to the link. Make sure the chain goes over the top rollers as you pull it over, as you'll see in a minute. now that we've knocked the T-pin through the link, we've got a little round bar there. You see how I've knocked the round bar through the end of the pin and bent it over. Now that's what holds the track together now, that pin. That is the master link on this chain. So what we'll do now is we'll go around to the grease valve. This is a grease valve. It's like a typical, this is off a Komatsu, but similar thing on a Hitachi. You just put your grease gun on the end of that. The grease runs into a cylinder which pushes a little piston out, which pushes the idler out that tightens the chain. So that's the grease valve here. We'll connect it up now with a G-coupler. Fire the grease gun up, put it in automatic. And the idler will start to come out slowly. Can you see the track starting to tighten up? So now we're coming to the end of the cartridge in the gun. Best thing I've ever bought, this grease gun. Best thing I've ever bought. Pull the tube out. Pull the tube in. Clean your threads. There we go. Right, so that's that side all buttoned up now. But I want to check the other sprocket on the other side, so just let Cal have a little play at diggers because he's not got any experience whatsoever in driving a digger, so kid needs to learn. He'll be nervous here driving that. He should be picking his cell up now and turning with both tracks. Hello. Cal, right, spin the machine round, pick your cell up. Go on. Pick your cell up. Go on. Right, over there. Right, turn this track. Go on. Oh, oh there. Right. Just switch off. Now a telltale sign for a sprocket coming loose, especially if it's on hard material like this here now, that wouldn't be there. It'd all come away. This sprocket won't be loose, but I am going to chisel this out and just double check. But a telltale sign with the sprocket coming loose and the bolts coming loose, should I say, is because the sprocket moves, it frees the muck off it. you know what I mean? So it doesn't actually stick to it, it frees off it. So whenever you see a sprocket with no muck on it, that is a telltale sign for me that I've learnt over the years that the bolts are loose on the sprocket. I'd say this will be alright, Cal, but we'll get her chisel out, we'll just go round it and just double check it going. Yeah? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Sweet. That's it, job done. Let's get wrapped up, everything cleaned up before getting it man, yeah? Right guys, that's it for episode 5. Thought you might have learned a bit of something there. We're extracting bolts. Please hit the like button. It does help the algorithm if you want to help us build this channel. I think it's time for a bit of Sunday lunch, Director. What do you reckon? In fact, take the drone up. Take the drone up and... oh man, it's raining. Will you get it up or not? Show them a bit of the quarry. See you on the next one, guys. Oh, leave us a comment as well, because I'm going to be reading comments out on the road, on the Chronicles, and I'll be answering them. See you soon.